Hi, welcome to Chakra Mondays. This is where we talk about all things chakras. So, this episode is going to help you navigate the energies for the upcoming week. Now, the energy has been super intense. We are now in Leo season. Miro, what's the energy for this week?
Wow, like finally we are in Leo season. So I know how all you feel about the Cancer. We love Cancerian energy, but still, we need with this sun, with this, like warm weather and everything else that is beautiful in life, we need a little bit of Leo season. So
Mhm.
we are going to have the first of all conjunction with Sun with Mercury. And now some of the astrologers they're fighting because of that, because Mercury will be like burned out next to Sun. And on all of that, we are going to have the square of Mercury and Mars in Taurus, which brings us to point that we definitely need to pay attention again on our throat chakra, because sometimes we might just say things that, we can maybe regret it later. But on another level, we can free ourselves from some certain chains that we are actually having around us. So it's going to be interesting week in a way that we are going to feel the intensity, but the good intensity. You're going to feel charged up. You're going to feel that you are so on the point and on the right direction in your life. So, but whatever you are doing, whatever you are thinking about, first of all, just a little more attention in your mind about the words you're speaking, because sometimes your little can hurt someone's like really deep.
Okay. So, I mean, if we have Mercury in Leo and we have the sun in Leo, so we've got quite a bit of Leo energy. And Leo energy is, of course, ruled by the sun. I mean, Leos are sun worshipers. They love to be out in the sun. This is about forward motion. It's also masculine energy. So that's where you're saying, that communication can be quite quick or abrupt.
Exactly, because the sun is the source of light, and sun is the main light, like that we call it light in astrology. But any planet, like the weak-ish planet, can be burned when it's next to sun. Or, for example, Mars and Sun, because Mars is like the energy of warrior or whatever. But now we have the Mercury and Sun in conjunction, and it's going to happen basically the whole week, the whole following week. And I think that it's going to have the influence a little bit, maybe 2 days on the next week that we are going to have. But anyhow, it's actually the good part of this aspect is that we are finally having the courage to say things out loud.
Mhm.
So anything with the following, like Chiron that we were talking about in our previous video, who didn't watch can watch, of course. We had the issues like with our wounds, with pain, basically in our mind and whatever. Now, everything that was stopping us or blocking us to say, to speak out loud, to express our feelings, our thoughts, and our goals, we can now manifest and we can now say it. So whatever was the obstacle, now it's gone.
It's so interesting because thinking about us going from Cancer season to Leo season is that Cancer is ruled by the moon. That's the divine feminine energy. That's the intuition. That's the deep emotions. We were feeling it very, very heavily. Cancer season. I mean, like we said, we love cancers, but at the same time, whoa, that was very emotional. And so now getting into Leo season, now we're getting out of the emotions and we're getting into the doing and we're getting into that action. And that's that divine masculine energy. So, very, very interesting how we're going to be shifting. And like you said, this might be the expression of things that kind of need to come out. So, I'm really excited to see what's in the chakras. I think we should get going with our cards and take a look at our root chakra. Now, as
Okay.
per usual, Miro and I are using the same deck to see whether or not we pull the same cards. We seem to be pretty in sync with each other. So let's check it out. Now, Miro, our root chakra is our foundation.
Exactly.
This,
That is
this is the,
our Mars, our foundation, and our base. So let's see what do we have in our base.
oh boy, Seven of Wands. So interesting considering the energy that we just had. See the lovers. Now, I think last week we had the lovers as well. So this is interesting. I think that the Seven of Wands can be a little bit of defensive energy. And I think that's a bit of the Chiron retro. I think that's a little bit maybe even of the Cancer energy from last month. But this is also now in my mind about being on the offensive, not on the defensive. And I think that's related to love.
It is, but as well, I will go, just a few steps back when you mention that we are going from the feminine energy to masculine energy. So it's a common thing, and it's so okay to have, this is my room, this is your room, this is my kingdom, this is your kingdom. So basically, they're not in fight. Mars and Venus, like they're not in fight, they are in love. You have love inside your life. You have absolutely the union, divine union of masculine and feminine. But you need the healthy boundaries. You need to switch, because if we don't switch who is the masculine, who is the feminine energy, we wouldn't have the, that energy wouldn't be divided, into one and another. It's going to call, the universal, energy, not the masculine or feminine. So it's okay to have somehow like a boundaries towards yourself in, next week. And I
That's
just spoke
balance.
about exactly. And I just spoke about it, to be just curious enough, and curious to pay attention on the moments where you don't need to overreact, overdo, overthrow things on someone, like take your time, but still healthy boundaries does not mean, as you said, Kelly, offensive, we can be defensive.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Let's take a look at what's going on in our second chakra, and this is Venus.
Exactly. Our beautiful Venus, self-confidence, self-love, self-respect, our hedonism, and our sex appeal and the way how we love. So let's see.
Okay. I'm curious to see this one. The Two of Wands. I'm not surprised actually, because the Two of Wands is about making plans. Yeah, see, there you go. And you have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is sort of that sadness and disappointment. And I think any disappointments of the past, they need to be left in the past, right? We can visit the past, we can't live there. And so when I look at this Two of Wands and I say, we're making plans, we have to clearly decide. In this card, there's one hand here, on this wand that says, okay, this is my decision and I'm going to go with it. And I think in order to take ourselves out of that disappointment or that sadness or that emotion, I mean, that almost feels like leaving Cancer season, leaving the emotion, leaving the wounds behind of that Chiron retro, and processing and saying, you know what, there's a new horizon here. The sky is bright. I'm going to go towards the light and see what happens.
Imagine like this. Like that is how I see it. So Venus right now, she's in Cancer. So
Yes.
Venus in Cancer, either like, I mean, that position is really good. It's really nice. Everything is like really wow with that position, at least from my perspective. But
Right.
still, she's alone. In 2 days, she will be alone. She will not have any companion like inside that sign. She will have, because why? Venus remembers that Mars was there. Venus remembers because in past we had the really pretty conjunction. We had really amazing energy with Mars and Venus. I mean, in the moment like where Mars was in Aries, Venus was in Taurus, and Mercury was in Gemini. So we talked about it, that it was divine union. Now Mars says like healthy boundaries, and Venus is sad. So she does not need to be sad. I think that we are all dealing with our fears of that we are like left outside alone or something like that. But anyhow, I think that this is just the new expansion. Sometimes we just need to raise our head and see the, like possibilities that might occur.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little bit of fear of intimacy, I think is kind of what you're saying.
It is, but you know what? Somehow this Five of Cups on the Two of Wands, who is saying, let's conquer something new, let's conquer the next territory, let's do something. But yet, the Chiron is bringing us back, the Mars is bringing us back. Why? Because the Five of Cups is the half of the Ten of Cups. This is not well conquered like territory. There is more to conquer, but that's on Venus, that Venus needs to do. So all of you, to make it simple, need to, express feelings towards yourself, love yourself more, treat yourself with something new, buy yourself flowers, do whatever you want. Love yourself. That's the thing. And with that, you will heal everything.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's go to our solar plexus. So this is our personal power.
Our personal power and our sun in horoscope. So let's check the energy of our sun.
Oh, and I got the moon. And funny, we just talked about the sun and the moon.
Yes. I got the Page of Pentacles.
Yeah, interesting. You know, the moon is trusting your intuition. You know, it is a bit of that fear and anxiety. I just said it, you know, fear of intimacy, fear of that closeness, that deep emotion. But there's an offer here of something that's really beautiful. And that's the key here. It's like making that choice for that wand, you know, saying, let's go do this, let's try this. There's a beautiful offer on the table that is tangible. And I think it's time we take that offer and we see what happens.
And even if we don't have the, clarity, what is it about? Like what is it, the basically the offer that we received?
Mhm.
We need to trust in ourselves. We need to trust in that intuition that we have and that we built so far. So our solar plexus is more like our personal power and our everything in our life in a way of, ambition. Raise the criteria, do something, don't be afraid and don't hide behind, some kind of thoughts or processes or whatever. If you had the offer, this is because you earn it. This is not because somebody wants to trick you.
Right. Okay. Well, let's take a look at our next chakra, which is the heart chakra.
Exactly. The heart chakra is represented by the moon in horoscope, if anybody wants to know, of course. So let's see our moon.
Okay. I got the Eight of Swords. You know, the moon is the worry and the anxiety and the overthinking. Oh, Miro, I think you froze. Well, this is the moon saying, oh, there you go. You froze.
So I don't know what happened, but anyhow, I had the Hermit card.
Okay. Virgo energy. You know,
Definitely
I
in
think,
heart chakra.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that since I have the Eight of Swords and you have the Hermit, I mean, the Hermit is about going within and searching one's soul. And I do think there might be a little bit of over searching here. Like this is about, you know, delving deep. And I think that there's a little bit of worry that's coming from the Eight of Swords. You don't have to go so deep.
We talked about that as well. This is something, we know how the Virgos are so much, like everything about perfect, it needs to be perfect in life, needs to be this, needs to be that.
Mhm.
Sometimes, go with the flow. You don't need to process in your mind absolutely everything, because when you're processing too much, you're going to have the anxiety mode and everything that we talked about, like from the previous video, which is funny thing.
Mhm.
But anyhow, the heart chakra, sometimes we all need a break. This is the thing. That's what I'm feeling. We need a break from something, from routine, from our mind, from our life, from the place, job, and absolutely everything else. Take it. Do that. Maybe that is the offer that solar plexus give you. Maybe the offer is have time for yourself. And I
Mhm.
think that integration that right now you're going through in this following week, I think that, because we were talking in for previous card, he's holding the wand. The
Mhm.
hermit is holding
Yeah.
the wand, and still we have this lantern that is actually the star from original, like Rider Starro deck. But
Mhm.
still, is this something, as a fight of the things that we learned compared to things that we feel? So
Yeah.
break the routine, do things by your own.
You know, I also see something else here, and that is that the Hermit card means you're on the brink of change because once you've gone in and searched your soul, you're on the brink of the Wheel of Fortune, which is card number 10 in the tarot. And that wheel shifts whether you want it to or not. And that means that there's nothing to overthink here. There's nothing to worry about. Yes, go do for you, go search your soul, but recognize that the wheel is going to shift and very soon. And I think we're on the brink of that major shift. It means, okay, go within, retreat, but there's something so beautiful on the horizon once that wheel shifts.
And we're definitely going to be so much happy about it.
I think so too. I think right now there's just a little bump in the road. And I think there's some processing. The word that I would describe it as right now is processing feelings and emotions. Where do we want to be? Who do we want to be with? What career path are we on? All these questions are what we're overthinking. But again, okay, do your thinking. Just don't live in that overthinking. Correct yourself right away. Get out of those thoughts as soon as you feel them creeping in. And then all of a sudden, let yourself shift to that next level, because it is going to be a good shift for you. It's just a little bit of that anxiety about it, that worry, that what if, what if that shoe is going to drop? I've been having that conversation a lot with people lately in my sessions, where I'm hearing a lot of, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. Don't anticipate the shoe dropping. That means that you're gonna manifest something that you really don't want versus something you really do want. You want to be successful, you want to be abundant, you want to be in love. Those are all things that you can have. But if you're overthinking it and worried about it, you're just going to manifest something. You're going to talk yourself out of something that's really great.
Or you're going to have just 10% of your that like the first idea why start doing those kind of things. And of course, after that, you will be frustrated when you see that other people who maybe wanted the same thing manifested 20, 30, 100%, the whole goal, and you have only the 10%. And of course, we are the one who is the guilty one, not other people.
Right.
But
Right.
if you want to understand things, we need to go to fifth chakra to see what Mercury has to say.
Yes, I'm really curious about that too, because we talked about Mercury in Leo. Let's see what we need to know. Mercury is a throat chakra. Well, here you go. I mean, look, we went from 8 of Swords to 10 of Swords. This is dead, done, and over with. Yeah, and you've got the 9 of
Nine
Pentacles.
of Pentacles.
You got to feel strong in your own skin, good in your own skin. This is about confidence. We have to let go. The 10 of Swords is dead, done, and over with. We have to recognize that we can't take any more swords to the body. In this particular card, what's different in this one versus other versions of the tarot is that you can actually see swords that are in the front part of her body, like swords in the chest, that heartbroken feeling, the swords that have penetrated the whole body here. This is saying, let go of that old cycle. Because it's interesting. 8 of Swords means like, I'm not far off, like I'm not far off. We've had 8, 9, and 10, when we talk about the Wheel of Fortune being the 10 card, and now we've got the 10 of Swords. We're progressing. And this is about letting go of that old cycle, recognizing that it's over.
But if all of you are actually capable of manifesting through the 9 of Pentacles, because this is the personal power card, fight. This is the positive card. You Kelly had the 8 of Swords. I'm having the 9. You're having the 10 again.
Yeah.
So this is the breaking point of where you can turn the wheel in your favor, or you can turn it to become the 10 of Swords that Kelly holds. So and by the way, this particular deck, what you said, is actually all the swords what you mentioned that is in front of her, like like on her chest and stomach and everything, but she's looking at it. She sees that this is just the projection of her mind. So
Exactly.
if you want to worry, if you want to be in 8 of Swords, which is of course normal thing to have, like to process and to have a little healthy anxiety in life, as in expectations, you need to stop it. You don't need to push in that way, like to become as a victim. You need to act like you have it all, like you already achieve your goals. With that, you're making the breaking point in the wheel to stop spinning in the wrong direction for you.
Yes, I agree. Okay, well, let's look at the third eye. So this is our intuition.
It is our intuition and how we see life, and that's our Jupiter. So let's see what Jupiter has to say.
So Jupiter is about growth and expansion. And as I mentioned with the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter energy. It's our growth, our expansion. So I'm already channeling that energy of the Wheel of Fortune, because I know we're on that brink. We're so close. And I just want to remind people, often people want to give up just before the finish line. Don't give up. Don't be in that 10 of Swords energy where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to give up, I'm done. Or even 10 of Wands for that matter, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally exhausted. It's like, recognize that even if you have one knee down, It's okay. You keep on going. You do not give up. You're so close. You're so close to that shift, and you don't want to fight it. Look, Queen of Swords. Boom. Queen of Swords, making boundaries, cutting anything out that no longer serves you, you know, for your highest good. Sometimes saying no is what you need to do. And that's what's going to bring you the emotional new beginning here with the Ace of Cups, because you sense it. You can sense that there's an emotional new beginning here. I believe intuitively you feel it coming. And are you ready for it? That's the question.
Yes, and the Jupiter is the one who is giving the blessings in our life. I always say that for astrology, in which house, in which sign we have the Jupiter, that is our like luckiest part of our life. So
Yeah.
I think right now that we all need to switch. We all need to, it's a good that we have, the Queen of Swords sometimes because she's logical, obviously. Of course, she's having the attitude-ish kind of personality, but still, sometimes we need to fight like against our own mind.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're having a split in our mind, but never mind. The thing is, we need to contain everything that it's, like to move away everything that's negative, everything that is stopping us, because why not to be positive a little bit? Why not to expect the Ace of Cups, which is the new love, new beginnings, abundance in all kinds, especially love, but generally the new energy, new life. And
Mm-hmm.
I think with the Ace of Cups over here, because our intuition is like, it needs to flow. It needs to flow because our third eye, our sixth chakra and Jupiter, it's basically connected with water, connected with intuition, because sixth chakra, after that we're having fourth chakra and having the second chakra, that is the feminine chakras. But still, the water that flows through them, it needs to be the water, can't be the air, can't be the Queen of Swords, because that's logical, that's air, that's
Yes.
not primary element.
Right. I love it. Okay, let's see what our next, and this is our crown chakra now.
Yes, our crown chakra, which is represented by Saturn. So let's see what Saturn has to teach us.
Oh, I look at that and I got the Five of Cups, just like you had before.
Okay, beautiful card.
I like the combination of these two cards actually, because we might see the Five of Cups and be like, oh, why is the sadness and disappointment coming up again? No, it's not that. It's the fact that you can see in your card that she's got her toe on the line and she's ready to go into a whole new cycle, because the World card says, congratulations, you've made it. You've made it through the tough times. You've been through the sadness. You've been through the disappointment. Your toe is on the precipice of brand new change. And like we just talked about the Ace of Cups, there's a brand new emotional beginning on the horizon here. And that's a beautiful thing.
And we know that the World card is successfully ending the cycle. So let's go back to the common cards, because you and I work with like our synchronicities and everything. And I have the Five of Cups in my second chakra, which is the Venus. And what did I say? Venus felt like I'm on my own. Nobody understands me, poor me, yada, 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 and things like that. But the Saturn says, this is the final moment. This is the final feel that you're going to have till the very new beginning. So somebody's having the peak, the peak point, like for aspect or in their life, like they're like the amplitude, going up, then going down. Venus and Saturn, they're going like this. And instantly from this point, we're having the jump even more higher on the next level. So basically Venus and Saturn don't have that, like a lower energy, whatever. That's the reason why the Saturn over here is supporting Venus, because we're having the combination of Five of Cups and the World card, because this is the successfully ending the cycle. Like regardless of how the movie ends, it says at the end, it's going to be continued.
Absolutely. Well, interestingly enough, Miro, I mean, this week we also have a new moon in Leo on the 28th. And, you and I both do a new moon manifestation Zoom session every month to navigate the energies of the new moon. We talk about how to manifest. This is a Zoom session that we offer that runs for an entire afternoon. We do a talk about the astrological aspects. We do a mini collective reading where we go over the chakras again. And also we do mini readings for our participants. So anybody who signs up, it's $44. You get the entire afternoon, a Zoom recording of the session. You get 3 cards from me, 3 cards from Miro, and we give you guidance and we share, we bond. It's a lovely, intimate setting. So I put that out there to anybody who'd like to join us. If the spaces are filled, I mean, it is a limited capacity because we keep it a small, intimate group because it is a very long afternoon. However, if you don't make this one, we can sign you up for the next one. So Miro, I look forward to seeing you at the New Moon Manifestation Zoom session on July 30th. So thank you so much for talking chakras with me today, and I'll see you soon.
Always a pleasure.